Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article that deals with this young guy who got married. He's only been married for a few months, and lo and behold, one day he overhears his wife having a conversation on the phone with her best friend, basically telling the best friend that she settled for him, that he was in no way, shape, or form the top of her list. And basically she's unhappy, and she warns her friend not to basically end up like her. Even though, as you find out, the guy really cares about her, loves her, and guess what? Pays all the bills, takes care of all the expenses, the rent, pays for her car, all that. But still, she feels she deserves so much better. Okay? Nice girl, right? And recently married. And I'm doing this, guys, is because you got to understand, for those of you that are new, that by and large, most women settle. Okay? The odds are, if you look around out there and see all different couples, the odds are that woman settled for that guy. He was not her top choice. And that's one of the many reasons why you can see so many unhappy marriages. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that if a woman settles for her top guy, she ends up with her top choice, that she's going to be happy either. Because we know that's not true. That's not going to happen. You know, a woman could be married to a guy who makes millions and millions a year, billions, live in a mansion, have a staff catering to her, flying a private jet, all that, and she still won't be happy. And we know this. And so, for any of you guys that are thinking about marriage one day, be aware of all these things, that the odds are the chick that you're with right now, you're probably not her first choice. And that is going to result in an unhappy marriage. I mean, they're all going to be unhappy, but it's going to be even worse. And this is one of the many reasons I'm against marriage, okay? You want to date and hook up and have casual relationships, go right ahead, because the ball is in your court, okay? They get bitchy, they get difficult, runs its course, kick them out, move on to somebody else. That way then, and by the way, when they know that you have lots of options, they're usually always chasing you and on their best behavior. So, don't get married, but again, this guy's story is going to prove that. So, the title of the article, or his story, is Overheard My Fiancé tell her friend on the phone that she settled for being with me, and that marrying me was her last resort. And so what this guy did is he first posted his story on Reddit, he tells everybody, and then he comes back and tells how it went with his wife when he basically broke it to her that he knows and wants to end it with her. Starts off saying, I overheard my wife talking to one of her best friends on the phone while I was passing the bathroom. This friend is in a serious relationship. My wife then said to her, Sweetie, remember, it's your choice. Don't settle for just anyone. That's the mistake I made. Who knows who else I could have had? And he says his name was my very last resort. And now look at where it made me end up. The guy says, hearing that honestly broke my heart in two. Does she even love me? Why am I being treated as a second base? Am I being dramatic or overreacting? I haven't said anything about it since. I honestly don't know what to do, but hearing her say that has really made me upset. Well, hell yeah, and you're going to find out, again, he's been married for a few months. Imagine you obviously really love and care for someone, and overhear basically that she settled for you, and says, look where I ended up. Meanwhile, this guy's good to her, takes care of all the bills, all that, and she's bitching and complaining. And we know, again, where all that sense of entitlement comes from, thanks to the you-know-what movement, convincing all women that they're 10s and they deserve the best, when mathematically that's impossible because there's only so many guys at the top. And also, thanks to social media and dating apps, making women feel wanted from all the 24/7, 365 attention from guys, the blue pill, beta male types, kissing their ass and giving them attention. That's where it all comes from. Okay? Now here's the part when he confronts her about this. He says, update number 2. Just did one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Today after breakfast, I told her we should sit down and talk. She was hesitant, but I said it was important. We went to the living room, and she said to me, I already know what this is about. My post apparently made it to the front page, so of course she saw it after scrolling down a bit under popular. Well, that was kind of stupid. If he knows his wife obviously follows Reddit and he puts a post that gets popular and she saw his thing, that's kind of dumb. But I guess ultimately he was going to end it anyway, so, who cares? But if you're trying to hide something, don't post something on social media or something on the internet that you know the person you're hiding it from is going to look at. But he's young. Of course, the waterworks started happening right away. Isn't that funny? That always happens. I told her what she said had deeply hurt me, but obviously she already knew that since she read my post. Through her tears, she said, I was just joking. I wasn't serious. She then went on to say stuff like, I love you, I love you. I told her I can't be in a marriage where my significant other doesn't love me the way I love them. She tried to tell me that she loved me and that I meant something to her, but it was all bullshit. She said she didn't want to lose me. I told her I don't think this marriage was the right decision. And from there, I basically told her it was all over. I told her I knew how she really felt about me and that it was fucked, so basically playing with my emotions. Yeah, good for this guy for standing up for himself. And of course, as you see, she's denying the whole thing. Like, oh, no, it wasn't true. I was joking. Or I really do love you, because she knew she was caught. She was busted. And this guy takes care of everything. He's her meal ticket. And I'm willing to bet you she's probably banging dudes left and right behind his back. Poor guy. He says, for all those wondering, we have no kids, and I pay fully for the apartment we live in. And I own almost everything we have other than her clothes. I even pay for her car. So after all this, she'll have little or nothing left. Before our marriage, we agreed to sign a prenup, and at that moment, I'd never been so happy with a decision I've made in my life. Good for this guy. But I gotta wonder, did he sign the prenup because, he had a sixth sense telling him maybe you ought to do this because this chick there's something there. Maybe he had a wise uncle or father tell him to do it. Who knows? But good for him. And that it was After that, it was a few seconds of awkward silence before she said to me, F you. She started screaming at me, telling me, you just can't end things like that. I told her I could do whatever I wanted. And that's when she became very hostile. Funny how she goes from all the I love yous and crying and oh, I was joking, I didn't mean it, to all of a sudden, like that, fuck you, and screaming and yelling and carrying on. Isn't that amazing? Because obviously it was bullshit and she knew she was busted. Now her real true colors are coming out here. She goes on, he says, she screamed at me saying, you're the effing worst relationship I've ever been in. You think I can't find someone again? Do you think you'll ever find someone as good as me? As good as her? She's awful. You effing idiot, his name. She grabbed her bag and phone and said, I'm leaving, before slamming the door behind her. At that moment, I felt like I was on one of those dramatic sitcoms you'd find on TV. I sat down on the couch and cried. And I'm still crying as I type this up. Hey, he had his heart broken, but you know what? This is awesome. Even though his heart was broken, he stood up to her. He called her on it and basically told her it's over. And even though she tried bullshitting with the waterworks and the I love yous, because a lot of guys would hear that probably and be like, all right, maybe she didn't mean. Maybe she was talking tough for her friend. No, this guy, he wasn't buying it, and that's awesome. And now she's out of the door. And the funny thing is, I bet you this is probably the first time in their entire relationship that he stood up to her. Guaranteed. I don't like that whole part. Do you think you'll ever find somebody as good as me? Get the fuck out of here. Goes on to say, it's both happy and sad tears. And I knew it was only time before she cheated on me or left me. Oh, guarantee it, she'd be cheating on him and leaving for some other dude. But I'm willing to bet she's probably been cheating on him beforehand. But you know what? This guy's young. It said here he's 26 years old. And again, why the fuck did he get married so young with such little life experience? But in this day and age, still, some young people do. They get sucked into, guys get sucked into it because they get a girl and they think this is as good as it's going to get, so I got to lock her down. And of course, the woman's not going to turn the guy away because it's a meal ticket and she gets to be the bride. And I guarantee in the back of her mind, she's thinking, hey, doesn't work out, I'll find some other dude and I can be the bride again, But milk it for all it's worth. hopefully round 2, in terms of his second chance after she's totally done with, he doesn't fall for this again. This will be a very hard lesson about female nature that I hope he takes to the grave. Goes on and finishes up saying, "She never loved me. It was obvious. Our relationship only went one way, and I feel like a complete idiot for not seeing it earlier. I live in California, and I'm going to start the process to annul our marriage. Tomorrow, I'm going to start throwing all her belongings into trash bags, because that's essentially where they belong." Then he says in parentheses, "I'm not throwing out her stuff, just using the trash bags as a way to give her back her things she owns. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your kind words and your great advice. All of you gave me the courage to stand up for myself, and I know my life will certainly improve as a result." And this guy obviously posted it on Reddit to, hear people's input and everything like that. So that was a pretty interesting thing. So again, guys, I did this article because, once again, this is making the point that by and large, most women settle, and you must understand that, okay? And so I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching this that have been divorced, and you know darn well that she wasn't in love with you. And then looking back, in hindsight, that she settled for you, and you saw. So, guys, I said before, don't get married. It is not worth it on so many levels. Save yourself years of misery, tons of hard-earned money that you made and saved, being pissed away because they love to spend. Save yourself all that shit, because it's not going to go well for you. And like I said, women settle. Most of them do not marry the guys that's the top of their list. And even if they do, like I said, they're going to find things to piss and moan about and start drama about. They're never going to be happy, especially in this day and age. Save yourself the frustration and aggravation. So, all right, guys, quick article. I thought that was a good one. All right, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know your experiences in this, and it definitely will help out a lot of guys that are watching the video to hear some people's experience and how that can help them out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.